Welcome back, everyone. This will be a very hefty anime and manga haul. It's actually combining two of them because I couldn't find the footage for some of this stuff that I've already recorded for, so some of these items will come across as new, but are really, I've already opened them. But I'm excited to show everything, especially some of these items which I acquired through the thrift store. Very rare to find anime and manga for me in the thrift store. For this haul, I'll start with the manga, since most of that is stuff I just purchased regularly. The first one being Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, Volume 4. This is the Mafia edition. This is the alternative universe where all these characters from the original manga are now in the Mafia, and the story is altered a little bit to match the setting, but for the most part, all the character relationships do stay the same. It's very entertaining watching these characters in this new or reading these characters in this new setting, and this has an anime announced for next year, so I'm really excited. This is still very entertaining, and now the Iruma manga itself online, if you're not caught up, stuff is going down. So I'm really hyped for this series overall right now. Next, I have Monster Volume 1. So I actually found this at a thrift store that doesn't usually sell books anymore. They used to have a very large book section, and they removed it for more clothing and shoe racks. But I randomly popped in and saw this on a rack, so very surprised, but very willing to purchase because I think this was only $2 or so. And these volumes I know retail for almost $20. So I'm happy to have Monster Volume 1. And this is a series I've been meaning to read anyway. I also have Fangs Volume 3. This is a series I've already owned for the first 2 volumes for. It is a BL about vampires. I love the artwork. I don't want to flip through anything just in case it hits something a little risque. But yeah, I love the art style. It's super stylish and pretty. The characters all look really great. And yeah, I would recommend it if you're a BL fan. I enjoyed it enough to buy Volume 3. Sorry, I'm not saying much about the mangas. This is by Billy Balabali, who is the author. Very interesting. I got this one off Amazon during a sale. Same with this one. This is Bite Marks and Flourite by Seno Yanase, published by Tokyo Pop under their Love brand. I haven't read this one yet. I'm trying to really read through all of my manga before I purchase any more, but this had always been on my wish list, so excited to read this one. I'm gonna flip through just a little bit without showing anything, just in case. But yeah, art looks really good. Looks cute. This is also a vampire one, but instead it's more like normal, I guess, where he just meets a vampire person and they kind of hook up. Next, I found at a different thrift store. The last 4 volumes I found at the same thrift store. This is Frankenstein by Junji Ito story collection. I was very surprised to find anime and manga, and I'll tell y'all which anime I got from that store as well, because I got it all on the same day. But yeah, I was not expecting to find manga or anime at this thrift store. This is a thrift store operated by the local churches for the community. I never expect those to really have any anime and manga because a lot of them obviously look a little non-religious, I would say. A little blasphemous, especially this one. But this thrift store is super cheap. Forgot to turn off my fan, so I apologize for the humming you may have heard earlier in the video. But yes, this thrift store operates only on the weekends, and they're the kind that post what they're going to have in store on Facebook the day prior. So I knew I was going with my mother, and I peeked at their pictures and saw that they were going to have... I saw this mainly, as well as Robotech on the shelves in the pictures, and got really excited. But this is a popular thrift store, so I made sure to get there early with my mother and beelined to the DVD Blu-ray section as well as the manga section, and thankfully I got the main things that I wanted to get from the pictures. They're very cheap, which is why I really wanted to make sure I got what I wanted. This was only, I think, $1 or $2, and considering I think these are pretty expensive, especially being hardback. They're quite expensive retail, so I'm really happy to have gotten this for so cheap. It's really pretty. I like Junji Ito's stuff, but I've never really had the desire to own it. And I think that's just because I've tend to read his stuff online. So maybe having the physical copy will endear me more to having copies of his work, because I do like it. He is an icon for a reason. Then I also saw Initial D on the shelf. I remember watching a good chunk of the anime as a child of this series. I really liked it, but I don't remember much from it. It is a very classic manga and anime. If you enjoy cars, definitely recommend. And this is an omnibus. These retail for pretty expensive, obviously brand new. So for $1, which is what I think I paid for this, I mean, I couldn't go wrong. So I did snatch that up as well when I saw it on the shelf. There was a couple volumes of other manga that I saw, but I just left those because I wasn't interested. But I was interested in Golden Kamui. These were, I think, 50 cents each, which, I mean, you can't go wrong with 50 cents manga. This has an anime, which I've been meaning to watch. It is a comedy, but I figured, well, let me skim through the manga as well, since I got it for so cheap, and if I ended up not liking it, I can just sell it back. But if I end up liking it, I'm definitely going to pick up the anime as well. And all of these were in pretty good condition, which I was happy about, because sometimes, you know, when people donate things to the thrift store, they don't donate it with in the most care, and it's not in the best condition. Next, I have this giant stack of anime that I also have purchased. I'll start with this one at the bottom that I also got from this thrift store. I stacked them a certain way so they would look pretty, but I think I'll start with the DVDs. So from that thrift store that I just mentioned, they had a lot of anime. I'm assuming someone was unloading their collection because it was primarily the more well-known anime like Ghibli movies. And one person did beat me to a lot of the Blu-rays that they had, which I was kind of annoyed by, because I could tell they were probably a reseller. They were kind of just picking certain things out really quickly. They weren't even looking at it or for the condition. Partly understandable. It was chaotic. Like I said, this is a popular thrift store, so as soon as you enter, everyone's kind of beeline to what they want. So I was also grabbing stuff right away to look at later. I just wanted to make sure I at least got it. And if I wasn't interested in it, I could put it back. But definitely he was really only interested in the Blu-rays because he took Ghibli movies, but he didn't take any of these. And he didn't grab Robotech, which is crazy. So yes, these were both 50 cents each. This is Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind. I've been meaning to get this one anyway. It's a very classic Ghibli movie. I remember really liking it when I saw it when I was younger. And I also read the graphic novel version of this that they created from the movie. And then Weathering with You, I kind of had to think about it because I actually haven't seen this movie, I think. It looks familiar, but I don't know if I ever actually watched it. But 50 cents, you can't go wrong. All the discs were also in great condition. I figured if I end up not wanting to keep it in my collection, I can sell it back for pretty cheap and make someone happy. I definitely would have preferred this on a Blu-ray though, because it does look like, honestly, even the Ghibli movie would have been great as a Blu-ray, but I think the older ones look fine regular DVD, but this one for sure I can tell. So since it is a Makoto Shinkai movie, I think it would have been nice to have this as a Blu-ray, since I know it's gonna look beautiful. And then I also, this is what I beelined for. I saw Robotech in the picture. Obviously, it's pretty thick. The camera they use is so low quality. It's really hard to see what the DVDs are. But I immediately saw this. It's nice big font, thick letters. This was only $5. And it's the complete set of the Robotech series. 20 discs. Most of which were in great condition. Only a couple of them had maybe some minor scratches that I don't think would have caused any issues with playback. But it also includes the movies and some other, like the live action Japanese videos and stuff for promotional trailers behind the scenes. Supposedly it includes everything. So I'm really, really happy to have gotten this. I've been eyeing this one for a minute and was debating whether I should try to get the Blu-ray or just the standard DVD. For $5, I mean, you can't go wrong. It's in a nice little box set. I don't have to worry about a bunch of DVDs, part ones and all that. So super, super happy to have this in my collection. That's a really classic mecha series, so I would highly recommend, if you like mecha, to watch that one as well. Post-editing me here, and I somehow completely forgot to open Robotech for y'all, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that because nice and sturdy box, unlike those Aniplex releases. But yes, it is a classic, so especially if you're going to be on the lookout for it. It's good to know what it looks like on the inside. So it is 20 discs. It's quite a thick case. It's honestly, I think, as thick as the Mashle case, which is ironic because that one has a lot less discs. But they did stick them everywhere. So here we have the first Robotech War. Then it goes to the second one. I think each one has about 5 discs. Or maybe it's just the first one that has 5. This one has 4. The third Robotech War has 4 as well. Then we have the Robotech Archives, which I think are some of the specials. I can't recall. And then some of the special stuff included in this, like OVAs, special features, and all that. And there are 3 discs for that as well. So they fit a lot of discs into this box set. It's pretty cool. And like I said, I did go through all the discs in the thrift store before I bought it. And for the most part, I think I only found 1 or 2, maybe 3 at most, that had any scratches. The rest were in pristine condition. So I genuinely do think someone just unloaded their collection to the thrift store. And they kind of have smudges because I tried to clean them, but I just don't have the proper cloth for it. So I'm going to have to pick up a media cleaning wipe. Because in the past, when I was younger, I remember just cleaning them with alcohol and cotton swabs. But that's not really working. So I'm going to have to get professional stuff or something. Just so they're not so streaky. And that's it for everything that I purchased from the thrift store. I'll move on to the rest of the DVDs that I have. I've been scouting eBay every now and again for the remaining case closed movies. I think I'm missing 2 at this point, both of which are the rarest ones. I did find one for $30 and I kind of just wasn't willing. I regret it now. I should have just paid the $30 to get it. But hopefully another one comes by that is around that price and I'll pick it up. But I did manage to find Captured in Her Eyes. This one was also around $30. Condition was really good, so I'm happy to have it. This is also the one I remember the most liking, I think among Case Close fans as well. I remember we owned this one too, but my sister could not find the disc. Because I remember we took it out of the disc case and put all the discs in one of those disc holders, but could not find it, so I ended up just buying it so I could have it. But yeah, I love Case Closed. I love all the movies. They're very entertaining and rewatchable. Happy to have that. I also finally picked up Neon Genesis, The End of Evangelion for around the same price, which is an okay price. I think this is a very common film to find in the wilds. This one was not in like the most pristine condition, but for the price that I got it, I'm okay with the condition for the most part. It confused me because it doesn't have like art on the front. It just looks like that. So I thought it was scratched to heck, but really this is the side that you should be checking. And yeah, I got this mainly because even though they did re-release it on Blu-ray and all that, it doesn't include the original dub. This still had the little pamphlet in there, which is cool. It has the poster, which is neat. But yes, I mainly wanted this because I wanted the original dub. So happy to finally complete my Evangelion original dub collection. Then I picked up, I saw these on sale on Amazon. Don't judge me. This is no money. Adding to my classic yaoi collection. This is not going to be to everyone's taste, which is understandable. But I remember watching this when I was a teenager. I really shouldn't have been, but I still wanted it. I'm not going to flip to the back because the clips they show are not appropriate. Oh, you know what? I can do this. So this is the first time I've bought something from this brand, Kitty. And I will say they are very low quality. The print job of the covers look very faded and cheap. That I initially thought this was a bootleg, but it is an official license. So it's not dubbed either, which is fine. But just know that if you purchase anything from this brand, it's the bare minimum, I would say. Like, even the discs look very faded and super cheap. I don't know if you can tell. But yeah, this brand does the absolute bare minimum. So not the happiest purchase I've made, but I'm at least happy to have it in my collection. Then I have Dot Hack Sign. This is actually a gift from someone for my birthday, so I really appreciate it for them for giving me this. I wasn't going to include this. I actually realized this was a mistake on my part, but I already filmed with it in the stack, so I'll go ahead and include it. This is a very classic anime. It's the one that got me interested in the concept of being trapped in a video game when I was younger. I used to watch the there was a spin-off series that had all the characters more chibi-fied and kind of like kids. It was a more kid, I feel like, oriented series. It was a more kid-oriented series that was fun and entertaining, but it's very different from this one. This one I think is just really good, atmospheric, kind of slow series, good animation, great characters. The theme song is classic. If nothing else, I would highly recommend watching the theme song for this series because it will get stuck in your head. But yes, this follows I want to say this is the first anime I saw, if not the first one that coined the concept of being trapped in a video game. This walked so that Sword Art Online could run. And that's why I was very disappointed with Sword Art Online, because I had memories of this one being really good and Sword Art Online just couldn't compare. But super happy to have this. I'm glad it's still in print because I was very worried when I remembered I wanted this in my collection that it wasn't. I was going to have to scout for it since it's quite old. This is a Funimation release, so if you are interested in the series, I would highly recommend just picking it up now because Crunchyroll is doing some weird stuff. I think they're trying to transition away from selling all their old Funimation stock, as well as anything that's not under the Crunchyroll brand. And they barely do that. They don't release as much anime as Funimation did, that they license. Perfect condition, because this was purchased from Amazon, so sometimes you have to question the condition of the discs. So yes, I don't trust Crunchyroll to keep the license to this, so definitely pick it up while you can. I think it was only $30 on Amazon, which in this day and age is a fair price, it seems, for a series. And this one includes 24 episodes. The back cover includes the episode count, which is great as well. So yes, there are 24 episodes, 25 actually, plus 2 OVAs included, which is awesome. And here's what the art on the back looks like. Really pretty. There's our main character. Our main characters. And I noticed as well, the back cover includes everything in the universe for Dot Hack. So if you're curious about the rest in the series, I don't think they're interconnected, although they make some homages or references to certain things that happen in the other series. Twilight is the one based on the characters in this series. That's the one I remember watching. And then there's Roots and the trilogy, GU trilogy. So there is a universe to this series. All right, the last few things are all Blu-rays. I'll start off with this stack on the right. First, I did pre-order the Sailor Moon Crystal Season 1 and 3 box set. I thought this was such a good deal. I got it from... I'll link it in the description because I can't think of the store name off the top of my head. It was only $50, I want to say, and that included shipping. So, very good deal for 3 seasons of Sailor Moon Crystal. I've been holding off on this because I tried watching the first season when it came out and I was not impressed by the animation. But I have heard it's gotten a lot better. So, I definitely wanted to include this in my collection. Eventually, I'll get the classic series as well. But, yeah, I'm happy that they created a box set like this because Sailor Moon is a long series and then there's a ton of movies, and I'm hoping one day they'll do a classic collection as well, because that's a lot of discs I'd have to put on my shelf, and I have honestly run out of room. This does include the dub, I'm pretty sure, and an art gallery and more. And then I just appreciated as well how it came. The slipcover has this neat cutout to make it look a little more premium. So I really love that. Really cool. Then this was on sale on Amazon for fairly cheap, so I went ahead and picked it up because I'm still collecting My Hero Academia. I did enjoy this movie, not as much as the first and second one. The third one was pretty fun too. Roddy was just a fun character. But this was still enjoyable. This is the Your Next movie, which is the 4th movie, I believe, in the franchise. The most recent one. I did watch this in theaters with my siblings. So this series just has a very nostalgic feeling for me because of that. Or it has sentimental value, I would say. Not nostalgic. This came out pretty recently. Standard stuff. Ooh, that's pretty cool artwork, actually. This series did conclude. I wasn't too happy with the ending, but it was okay. I thought the ending made sense for Deku's arc, so everyone complaining about it were kind of overreacting, in my opinion. But there was a lot of missing things that I had wished they'd covered that just didn't get covered. But overall, not a bad series. Next, I have the 2 Psycho Pass movies, Psycho Pass Providence, and then the first one that they made. I've been meaning to add these to my collection, and since I recently got Seasons 1 and 2 box set, these were on sale on Amazon at different times, so I did pick them up. I'm not going to open this one just because I don't think there's anything special about the movie releases. Oh, never mind. There's something in here. There's like a booklet, I see. I've explained the series in a previous video, but it's essentially a futuristic detective anime where main characters are in law enforcement, and there's this unique system in society that keeps track of everyone's mentality or mental state to see how likely they would be to cause crime, which has a lot of negative implications. Oh my goodness, the disc just literally flew out, and I'm hoping it's not damaged. Other than being a little dusty, this seems fine. But that's kind of annoying. That literally popped out when I opened the case. Here are the discs, pretty simple. It includes a back cover with really cool art of the main character. And then this is what I saw through the box. It has art cards. That's really cool. I didn't know this came with that. This, I guess that makes sense. This was a really popular series when it aired. It has a lot of fans. But I don't see a lot of people talking about it anymore, so I kind of forgot that. Oh, forgot to put this back. And then I think this does include... This particular release includes a DVD and a Blu-ray, which is nice. They don't do that anymore very often, if at all. And then here is the Providence movie, which is the newest one, I think, that they released. Here's the cover, and then this one just feels pretty samey, so I'll leave it alone, leave it closed. Because I actually have not seen this one. So that'll be something for me to watch later. Also during the sale, I saw Trigun Stampede was on sale for about $24 to $30. I don't remember. I haven't actually watched this, but just based on the animation alone, I knew I would like it. And I'm a fan of the original Trigun, so I figured let me go ahead and pick this up just in case something happens, because it is Crunchyroll and they're doing some shenanigans right now. This is about a space outlaw, or like sci-fi western outlaw, I guess. Wanted man, Vash the Stampede. I love the discs. Has both of the 2 guys there. Classic. And then, ooh, this is cool. I might flip that actually. This looks like the OG design. Yeah, that's OG Vash. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. I kind of want to flip that, but it also doesn't make sense because this is not the same Vash. I'm very interested in knowing how they explain his design change. Because it's very different from his OG design. Oh, I put that in a little wrong. Maybe they won't explain it, you just have to accept it, but excited to watch this. Especially since I think this was a Netflix release originally, and I don't have Netflix, so I never got to see it. Then I also picked up the Apothecary Diaries. I pre-ordered this through Walmart when it first came out on pre-order. There is also a steelbook release that you can get from Crunchyroll, and I think it's also available on Amazon now, but it's way more expensive, and I don't care about that. I just want this full season. I think this is worth it. It was $50, which is kind of expensive, but this series is so good. I honestly did not care. I was willing to pay the full price, especially since it is 24 episodes, which is rare nowadays. A lot of series are just 12 and they still want you to pay $50 for it. Love this artwork on the inside. I won't say anything about those characters because those are spoilers. But if you've not watched this series, I highly recommend it. It's a drama, it's a mystery, it can be a thriller, and there's edges of romance built into it that have really decent payoffs. And the main character is just very entertaining. She's super fun. Same with all of the characters she surrounds her with. It's set in a kind of fantasy, ancient China, feudal China, whatever you want to call it. She is an apothecary that gets kidnapped to work in the emperor's palace. She ends up helping one of the consorts in a big way, so she ends up becoming an official employee for them. Things happen. It's basically her journey through being employed at the palace, helping solve mysteries, uncovering some nefarious plots. And yeah, very, very entertaining. And here are the last 3 things in my haul. So these are 3 Aniplex titles. For anyone unaware, Aniplex titles are really expensive. Anytime your favorite anime gets licensed by Aniplex, as someone who physically purchases anime, it's horrible. They will not go under $100 a lot of the time. I've tried researching why that is, and part of it, from what I've read, just seems to be that this is how they price it in Japan. This is how they've always priced it in Japan, regardless of the studio, because over there, they don't really make a lot from anime sales, so it is more expensive. In addition, their box sets do tend to be a little more premium. They don't tend to use the standard Blu-ray cases like this, and that's, I think, how they justify the price. But if you kind of look at the releases in Europe, the argument kind of goes out the window because they're able to sell things that do look like this with little extras that are not included in the US release for a lot cheaper. So I don't know what it is. They must have had some kind of agreement to sell anime in the US only through these prices, because even other retailers don't really put them on discount. So I did get these slightly under $100 because I was at work. I work very early in the morning, and I happened to be looking on the Anime Collectors Reddit, and someone had posted that there was a sale on Aniplex titles. All of the Aniplex titles were, I think, 25% off or 15%. I don't remember. Point is, they were significant enough of a discount that I did go ahead and purchase the things that I wanted. I think it was only if you bought 3 that you got the discount, so I did get SK8 the Infinity, which is the main reason I wanted to buy something. It's a 12-episode series. It's super entertaining. The dub is great. But $119? I just wasn't willing. But after many years, I did finally tell myself, okay, if this ever goes on discount, I'm willing to pay $100. But it's got to be at least $100 for me to make that purchase. And this was slightly under with the discount, so I finally have it in my collection. I'm so excited. Like I said, I did already film these. This is one of the things that I already filmed. I don't know what happened to the footage. It just got corrupted or something. So this is, I've already actually opened this, so I'll just show you guys what it looks like. Because I was impressed. This is the first time I've bought an Aniplex title myself. I think the only other Aniplex titles that I have are, is Pull and Magi Aniplex? I don't remember. But I also have the Full Metal Alchemist box set. That one I don't remember being too crazy. Oh, I have Gurren Lagann as well. And they were nice, but they weren't like ridiculously high quality that I think the price was justified. This one, though, I was a little impressed by, and I'll show y'all why. Why is this hard to take off? Oh, I'm done. So this does come in a slipcover. Now, I will say the slipcover itself is pretty flimsy. It's matte with the glossy finish on the character and the titles and all this graphic stuff. Has this little band at the bottom, which is neat, but the cardboard itself is really flimsy. Like, that's not really going to protect anything in there. It comes with this booklet that has a lot of artwork on character profiles and things like that, which was really cool. Ugh, hate this guy. So if you've never watched the series, I think it's really fun. It's basically like a sports anime, but for skateboarding. Animation's really good. This main character here, Manga, moves here from Canada, or moves to Japan from Canada. He used to be a snowboarder and he learned skateboarding thanks to a friend he makes, Ricky. They compete, or mainly Manga competes in kind of a street race thing against some very colorful characters. Here is the actual case. So as you can see, very different from the typical ones. It's a little thicker. The discs themselves are kind of standard, but you can kind of hear the plastic is different. It's more of acrylic than standard Blu-ray case plastic. Then here's the double-sided slipcover. So they are higher quality. They might come with little extras. Do they justify the $120 price tag if you had bought this full price? I personally don't think so. But I am very happy to finally have this. But for the price that it was, I am definitely keeping them in their little baggies until the baggies look ugly, in which case I'll just take them off. Then, to get the discount, I did purchase Mashle. I really enjoyed the series. I thought it was fun. I primarily really enjoyed it because of the main character. He's just super wacky. I'm a big fan of kind of the stoic characters who are also really goofy. This is, I want to say, a parody of Harry Potter, because there are some jokes in there that if you are a big Harry Potter fan, you probably would really laugh at. Some of them went over my head. I had to look them up because I didn't read Harry Potter as a kid, but I got enough of the references that they were still funny. And like I said, the characters were fun. This is primarily a comedy, but it has action as well, because this is about our main character who does not have any magic in a world full of magic. And I think it's illegal not to have magic, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I saw this. I think it's illegal, so it's really important that he doesn't get found out to not have magic. But things happen. He ends up having to enroll into a magic school and has to kind of bluff his way through a lot of the tests that they do, because obviously this is for students learning magic. And the way he bluffs his way through is he is incredibly strong. He loves to work out. That is his pastime, his special interest. That is what he loves to do. So a lot of the time he just, through the power of pure physical force, will convince everyone that he can do magic. It's pretty hilarious. And I will say Aniplex did a pretty good job with these box sets. I understand where some of the price went. Again, the slip box cover thing itself is super flimsy. Like, I have some from the 90s or even the early 2000s that are way stiffer than this. Like, darker than blacks would punch this and crumple it if I dropped it on top of it. This is just pretty flimsy. Makes no sense to me at the price tag they're asking for. The design of this whole thing, though, is really cool. So it comes with this booklet. As you can see, the graphic overlays pretty seamlessly. And then it's just cut in this very interesting way. And it just has, again, character profiles, artwork. And it's on textured paper, so it's not standard. And then it has a glossy page here. So I would consider this a nice, very well designed, high quality booklet. So that was pretty cool. And here are the discs themselves, which I was actually very impressed by because, oh, I forgot about that. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I forgot these came with stickers. So they do come with little stickers of some of the main characters. Very cool. There's my boy Mashle, and then a coaster. So little extras, really cute. But yes, I was very impressed by this case because it's like the old school early 2000s cases that flip out like this. I was like, oh my gosh, a blast from the past. I haven't seen a case like this in so long. And I actually do really like them. So Mashle Season 1 does come with the soundtrack as well. So it has the soundtrack disc in the back. So that's pretty cool. And again, the acrylic, not like typical plastic. So when I first opened this, I was like, okay, I get you, Aniplex. I understand a little bit. Still overpriced, but this is pretty cool, I will admit. I think I would be a lot happier if this box was a lot thicker, because to put that much effort into the contents but not the protective case is crazy. Well, there's Mashle Season 1. Then I also have Mashle Season 2. Both of these I think retailed at $120 as well. So when I purchased them with the discount, they were like $97. Here's Season 2. The Divine Visionary Candidate Exam Arc. So you are paying $100 or so for 12 episodes, which is the main thing that bothered me. Because I'd be willing to just buy a full 24 episode season for a lot cheaper without all this stuff. Now this box set did feel a little cheaper. It's got a standard disc box. It's still clear, but you know, that's like a typical plastic box. It still came with the booklet, but a lot less interesting, just a standard booklet. They clearly did not put as much effort into this one. But it's still cool. It's still printed in unique matte textured paper. And then as far as the contents, you still got some stickers of more characters. And then this guy. These are villains, I think, so I don't know why they're included. And here are the discs. And I don't... Oh yeah, it does come with the soundtrack as well. I have yet to check, but I am curious if this comes with the opening theme song, because the one from the second season is the one that went viral. The artist who made it really skyrocketed in popularity when it released because it was very catchy. If you've never seen it or heard it, I'm sure you've probably, if you're in the anime space online, you may have seen some parodies of it, if nothing else, where everything's yellow and black. But that's where that came from. That came from Mashle, their second season opening song. Very catchy. I really enjoyed it. So yes, Aniplex does include extra things in their releases. You can see there's some embossing and metallic details on the cover. So they're a little more special than standard releases, but for the price that you're paying, I really wish they still did a standard release, because some people just aren't interested in all this, like me. It's cool. If I can afford it, great. But for the most part, I'm just looking to buy the series. That's all I want. I don't need all this extra stuff. If I do, I will pay the extra price tag for that special edition. Oh my gosh, can you believe I was putting stuff away when I realized something had fallen behind my drawer. And I forgot to talk about it. So I also got Hellgirl 3 Vessels, which is the third season to the Hellgirl series. I found this on eBay. There was an auction for it, and I was able to snag this for about $60, which is pretty cheap for what it's going for right now. It is a thicker version. I think there is another version that's a thinner disc size or disc case size, but it was brand new. I opened it already because I wanted to make sure it was actually in there. But yeah, it was still in the shrink wrap and everything. This used to be a very popular series back in the day. All the discs obviously were perfect since they were brand new. Each one features different artwork. But if you've never heard of this, it was a very interesting series back in the early 2000s. I think it was pretty popular in the anime space. And then after, it had kind of a cult following because it's kind of, I don't want to call it a detective series, although there is mystery revolving the main character and also some of the characters they encounter, because this is an episodic series. So the premise is that this girl, and I think is her name, if I remember correctly, she is the Hell Girl. She has a website that you can go to and essentially send someone to hell through it. So if you put down someone's name, the website is only available, I believe, at midnight every single day, or maybe it's at specific times of the month. I don't remember, honestly. But basically, it's only available at a limited time But if you're able to access the website, then you can put down someone's name and she will send them to hell. A lot of the time it's people that do deserve it. A lot of the early stories especially are super heartbreaking. So you get to know kind of the background and the full story of the people she is sending to hell. And then when she sends them to hell, the sequence is pretty cool. The music is bomb. I really enjoyed the first season, which I do remember most of. I don't remember the second or third too much because I don't think they dubbed them. And by the time they released, because the first season, I want to say, was actually released by Funimation. And then the later ones were released by Sentai Filmworks. And Sentai, I don't think, dubbed either season that they released, which was the second and third. I'm still on the hunt for the second. I don't know why it's harder to find right now than the third, but I'm definitely going to try and get it for a good price. As if I can get it around the same price as this one, I would be very happy, because I'm just not willing to pay under $1 for these early 2000 releases, because discs do break down. The older they get, the likelier that disc rot may happen or something like that. So I'm just not willing to pay those exorbitant prices for these releases, especially because I know there's a lot of copies out there. Especially with it being Sentai Filmworks, they make a lot of copies of their series. It's just people, know that they're rare, quote unquote rare, so they're trying to sell it for a lot of money that I'm just not willing to pay. But I'm very happy to have found this and gotten it for a good price. And I'll be interested to see what the third season entails. I think it's still available on Crunchyroll, where you can watch it, or even High Dive, because it is a Sentai title. And I think that's their streaming service. But yeah, I really enjoyed the first season, which I did pick up a while back, and is much easier to find than the second and third. But would recommend. I think this series needs to make a comeback. And I just noticed it is Aniplex. I would be willing to pay for an expensive copy if it was $100, but it included all of the seasons. Because I think there was also a fourth season in Japan that did not get released in the US. I could be wrong, but this did pretty well in Japan from what I remember reading. But that's everything in this haul. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will put all the names of the series in the description. Some of these are out of print, so you may have to scour the internet, eBay and all that to find a copy for yourself. But I'm happy to have everything that I have here. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.